Welcome to the GoalZero Toolbox Talk series. Today's Toolbox Talk. Dropped objects. Dropped objects are a serious hazard at many worksites. A dropped object is defined as an object that falls from a height and either causes or has the potential to cause an injury, asset damage, or process safety event. This object can be of any size or mass, can fall from any height, and may be dropped unintentionally or intentionally. Objects as small as a bolt can cause serious injury or even death when dropped from a higher level and striking an employee working on the ground. Outside of injuries and deaths, dropped objects are responsible for a large cost to employers due to property damage incidents as well. Controls to prevent dropped objects. Eliminate the hazard. Remove objects and tools from higher levels, scaffolding, or aerial lifts that do not need to be there. Removing objects that can pose a hazard to people working below is the best option to prevent a dropped object incident. Engineering controls. Barricade zones below higher work levels to prevent personnel from walking into the line of fire of a dropped object. Install tow boards on higher work levels to make sure objects and tools cannot easily slide off an edge to a lower level. Place nets or some type of protective barrier above ground level workers if there is continuous work being performed above a work area. Another engineering control is the use of tethers or anchors for tools and objects that are being used on a higher work level. This limits the object from falling. PPE. Anytime there are overhead hazards present on a job site, hard hats need to be worn. PPE is always a last line of defense. Wearing a hard hat will only limit the damage a dropped object does, not prevent it from happening. Rely on eliminating the hazard or installing engineering controls to reduce the chance of objects striking ground personnel instead of PPE to lessen the blow. Securing loads when lifting. Make sure the load is balanced and secured. Check for small or loose pieces before you lift. Otherwise, a shift in the load or the wind could cause objects to fall. Before placing a load on a scaffold or a platform, make sure the work area has properly built guardrails. Good hoisting practices such as never lifting, lowering, or swinging a load over someone's head. Use barricades to block off areas where loads are being lifted or lowered. If the operator's view is impeded in any way, use a signaler to assist the operator. Always use proper rigging procedures and ensure the rigging equipment is in good condition. Good housekeeping such as keeping tools and other materials away from edges, railings, and other elevated surfaces. Always stack materials on flat surfaces and secure them, if necessary, to avoid movement. When working, be aware of your surroundings and watch that you don't inadvertently knock or hit something off the level you are working on down to the level below. Proper material stacking prevents tipping. Store materials and equipment at least 6 feet away from an edge. Always secure material to prevent movement from the wind. When you remove something from a secured pile, don't forget to resecure the material. Look at all work areas where a dropped object incident can happen. An example could be a large wrench sitting on the edge of a piece of equipment that has a mechanic working underneath, or even a hot cup of coffee on top of a file cabinet. Paying attention to the smaller hazards translates to safety improvement at your work site.